Everybody, this is Bill with the Bill Heenan Real Estate Team over at William Ravis. And today is July 31st, 2025. Almost, I think we're just about past the halfway point of summer. Certainly feels that way. It's been a hot summer, and I know that we're into some beautiful weather in the coming days. I have a big weekend in my family this weekend, and we're going to have a big picnic, so looking forward to it, and I hope you are enjoying your summer as well. Today I wanted to get out and talk a little bit about a market update. It's been a couple months since I specifically talked about how the market's doing, and it's been a typical July. As I warned previously, as we move into these summer months, we tend to have slower activity. 30 to 40% of the public during the month of July is on vacation. So the last thing they're thinking about is their homes. So, I wouldn't say that it was a bad July because we had a pretty good month overall. But certainly we've noticed a slowdown in leads, in inquiries, in clicks, just overall communication about any of our listings at this point. And fewer listings going on the market as well in the month of July as a result of that overall slowdown. But in recent days, as I monitor our leads directly into our team website and our team portals, the clicks have definitely been picking up. It's been obvious, a 25% increase in clicks, in inquiries, and just overall activity on our listings and the overall market listings. I could see already starting to take place. And that would be typical. As we wrap up July and move into August, people will come back from their vacations and they start focusing or refocusing on their lives. And generally, housing is a large part of everybody's lives. So, and everybody's looking to maybe, for whatever reason, are always looking to make, at least keep their eye on the pulse of the market and maybe make a real estate move in the coming days, weeks, and months, or at least keeping their eye on such. That's what we like to think as well. So the overall condition of the market, as far as the absorption rate, certainly we're still in a seller's market. In most markets, we're below 45 days worth of inventory, or it's taken less than 45 days in order to sell a house. When I look at New London County and Middlesex County overall, they're about on par. New London County has, on average, it takes about 24 days to get a house under contract. And in Middlesex County, it's just one day more, 25 days in order to get a house under contract. And that's a pretty good, strong seller's market. It's certainly a big change from what we experienced through the COVID markets when we were down to 3 single-digit days to get all the inventory under contract. It's certainly changed over the last 2 years, but 24 days to take in order to get a house sold is not bad. And if I was to tell you that let's put your house on the market, we'll have it sold we'll have it under contract in 3 weeks, that would certainly eliminate a lot of the stress points around whether or not you think your house is going to sell or not. But you will see that in the coming months, I believe, and certainly the coming 12 months, that you will see that absorption rate start to get larger and larger. It's going to take longer and longer to get homes sold as we move further and further towards a slowdown. The only thing that could possibly trump that is a significant decrease in the mortgage interest rates, and only time will tell whether or not that takes place, and we could talk about that in a minute. But as we look at each one of the towns, one of the surprising, actually not so surprising, one of the strongest towns in New London County is East Lyme. And East Lyme, if you listed your house today in East Lyme, it should only take about 15 days to get that house under contract. East Lyme has sold 106 homes in the last 60 days and only has 40 houses for sale. So East Lyme wins as being one of the strongest markets we have in both the counties with a 15-day absorption rate. On the contrary, Old Lyme, surprisingly enough, has a 30-day inventory count, or it takes 38 days to get your house sold in the town of Old Lyme. They've sold 43 homes in the last 60 days and they have 27 active. Now, sometimes these absorption rate numbers are skewed by the fact that there's not enough median average homes to sell. Because I know that if you listed your home, or if I had 3 homes listed in the beaches of Old Lyme and they were priced properly, not underpriced, but priced properly, they would sell in days. But unfortunately, sometimes when you get to these more affluent towns where there's a lot more higher end sales, those higher end active units that are on the market will tend to skew the absorption rate. And I think Oldham is one of those scenarios. And as we move into Middlesex, I think we have a little bit of that going on as well, because Middlesex, although it has an overall 25-day on the market count, they've sold 685 houses in the last 60 days and have 293 homes for sale. So it takes about 25 days to sell a house or put it under contract in Middlesex County. If you look at Old Saybrook, one would think that Old Saybrook would have the lowest absorption rate in the marketplace, but it doesn't. It has one of the highest. 51 days on average to get a house sold in the town of Old Saybrook. This is definitely a scenario where the higher echelon of that market, the homes that are priced at $1, $2, $3 million and above, are slowing down the overall exposure or the overall turnaround of the market in Old Saybrook. Because I know as well, if I had 3 homes in Old Saybrook priced between $500,000 or $600,000 or $700,000 and they were priced properly, they would all be sold in a matter of days. If I wanted them sold in hours, they would sell in hours, but we never want a home to sell in hours. We wanted to sell in days in order to maximize the price. So Old Saybrook, surprisingly, at 51 days, if you list that house in Old Saybrook, the numbers would tell us it would take 51 days in order to get it under contract on average. All the way down to Clinton. Clinton is one of those markets that has come forth in the last decade. I remember in the early part of my career, Clinton was not a place where a lot of people wanted to shop. But over the last 10 years or so, Clinton has really stepped forward, has changed its overall impression to the marketplace, and it has become a very good seller in that Middlesex County. It has a 26-day average to get houses sold in Clinton, one of the best numbers in that Middlesex County. It has sold 53 homes in the last 60 days. It only has 23 active houses. So if you're living in Clinton and you're thinking about selling your house, it should take about 26 days to get that house under contract. So that is your market update for July 31st, 2025. Still a very strong seller's market, heading more and more towards a balanced market. It's going to take a while, but I think we're heading there. And I think that in the long run, a balanced market does good for everybody, because as a seller, you generally want to buy, and as a buyer, you need homes to buy. And right now, it could still be really, really tight in order to find a good home to buy once you sell it. But once again, if you are looking to have any questions answered or want to indulge in this topic a little further, you can always reach out to me on my cell phone directly at 460-860-460-8053. Or drop me an email through our website at www.thebillheenanteam.net. We always look forward to hearing from you.